The year was 1864. Events took place in the American West that would change the world of Navajos. Navajos call it the Fearing Time. Navajos saw soldiers and settlers coming to the Southwest. Conflict led to one of the most tragic yet triumphant chapters in American history.
It's still very difficult for us to talk about these stories.
The aftermath shook their identity.
Anytime you say one word of Navajo or something, they'll shave a bar of soap and they put it in your mouth and they tell you to wash it out.
This program was made possible in part by the George S. and Dolores Doré Eccles Foundation and the Pacific Mountain Network.
Navajos saw threatening omens. Landslides may have predicted the Fearing Time. January 1864. Canyon de Chelly seemed invincible to Navajos. The Red Rock Canyon had spiritual and strategic meaning. Sheer vertical walls protect the canyon floor. It was a cold winter day. Snow blanketed the canyon. Orchards covered the canyon floor. There may have been as many as 3,000 peach trees. Red water flowed through Canyon de Chelly. Navajos knew soldiers were coming. Crops were destroyed in the summer and fall. Their sheep were killed or taken. This scorched earth policy was planned to make Navajos surrender. The War of Starvation was effective. Few shots were fired. The United States military campaign against Navajos had origins in earlier events. European explorers reached North America in the late 1400s. There were consequences for millions of native people who lived there. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark made their voyage of discovery to the American West in 1804 through 1806.
When Lewis and Clark first came up this river behind me, it meant actually many different things to many different tribes. Some embraced them, but truly it meant the beginning of the end of our way of life as we knew it.
Conflict threw the West into decades of turmoil. The Spanish explorer Cortés conquered Mexico in 1519. Spain occupied the Southwest. The Spanish were the first Europeans Navajos encountered. The Mexican War of Independence separated Mexico from Spain in 1821. Mexico controlled the province of New Mexico until 1846. Navajos experienced slave raids throughout the Spanish-Mexican period. Slave raids were cause for much of the violence in the Southwest. Historian Peter Iverson quotes Navajo leader Armijo. "More than 200 of our children have been carried off, and we know not where they are. My people are crying for the children they have lost." Navajos resisted domination.
Navajos rarely, if ever, receive back their own family members who've been taken captives.
Navajos called themselves Diné, or the people. Their religion tells of 5 worlds from which they came. The creation of Navajos took place within 4 sacred mountains: White Shell Mountain, Blue Bead Mountain, Abalone Shell Mountain, and Big Sheep Mountain. Chaco Canyon is located in the Four Corners region of the Southwest. Chaco is considered part of a sacred homeland for Diné. Chaco was a religious and trading center characterized by large communal dwellings. Ancient native people occupied Chaco Canyon. An exodus occurred at Chaco around the year 1150 AD. Native people dispersed throughout the Southwest. Navajo oral history tells of relationships with the ancient people of Chaco. Navajos call their homeland Dinétah. Sacred rivers like the San Juan also define their homeland. The landscape of Dinétah is some of the most striking on earth. The sacred Chusca Mountains are punctuated by mountain lakes. Navajos consider their land sacred. Many wish to never leave this homeland bordered by sacred mountains. In the 1840s, Hispanic and white settlers found Navajos to be prosperous. Navajos were great herders with distinctive churro sheep. Navajos were brilliant weavers. Navajo hogans are homes of earth and timber considered sacred. Motherhood is celebrated. Sheep means life to Navajos. Navajos believe sheep will care for them. Navajos watched the village of Santa Fe in New Mexico Territory in the 1840s. The Anglos, the new men, arrived.
It's ironic in some ways that there's such tremendous confrontation and clashes that promptly take place between the Americans